So should both couples in a relationship share everything down the line? The cooking, the support, the money, the finances, the effort, or should one offer more than the other? Let's talk about that and much more here on this episode of Couples Pursuit Live.
Yes.
Couples Pursuit.
Hello, this is Vincent
And Valerie Woodard.
And on this episode of Couples Pursuit,
We're going to talk about whether or not the husband and the wife should share equally in a relationship.
That's right. So 50-50, baby. That terminology, I guess it sounded good for some people for so long. And I guess it might have got its roots in where, if you do your part, and I do my part, then, things should flow smoothly. Things should be copacetic,
That should be enough.
That should be enough. And where we're coming from, we teach biblical principles. And we teach from the point of a marriage is more than just a contract. It's a covenant between two people that they make. And that covenant that they make to one another is so important in the eyes of God that you are essentially saying that I'm sacrificing my life for your life. Whatever I vow to you, I'm willing to give all of myself.
Right.
Everything.
Right. That's the point.
Yes.
That's the point. It's all of yourself, not half of yourself. So, yes, 50 plus 50 makes 100, but we need more than half of me and half of him to make this marriage work. The half of me that I could potentially give could be only the parts that I want to give.
Yes.
It could be only the parts that, this is how I was when we got married. I'm giving you everything you saw up front.
Yeah.
But how many of you have been married long enough or been in relationship long enough to understand that some things about me may need to change?
Yes.
Or some things about my spouse, I may need them to change. And so you have to evolve and become more for the relationship in some areas. And you have to, I won't say become less, but you have to consider what you're bringing to the table. And if that is 100%, is that all that you can give? So we're not talking about, if I can just reiterate, we're not talking about the simple numeric volume of 100, right? We're talking about the percent of yourself that you're giving. You need to bring all of you to the table.
Yes.
In order to make it work.
Everything is your effort, your 100%. In this case, we're really talking about your effort, your energy, your time, your devotion.
Yes.
Even if the other person might be struggling this, you could get into marriage and things, y'all lovey-dovey and all things are cool, but then you go through a time when one person might get laid off from the job, or something happened in the family.
Maybe someone's sick.
Yes. And so what if that person, I'm giving you all that I can, but all that I can is not really all of me. I'm giving you 70. I'm giving you maybe even 30. I'm struggling right now.
Well, I don't really want to share the intimate details of I don't want to share my emotions. Yeah. I don't want to tell you how I'm feeling. I don't want to discuss my pain. That is less than 100%.
Yes. This conversation is so good. If you think that someone can get benefit from this, I urge you to share this video with them, and also smash that like button. Just let us know you're there. Leave a comment.
Yes.
And just let us know your thoughts on the matter, because we would love to hear from you. And we make these videos for you to help people that are in maybe in a great marriage, but you can need some little help, or maybe you're struggling in the area that you're in. And hopefully we'll be able to say some things to help encourage you along the way.
Yeah, sometimes we learn, we do what we've seen, or we do differently than what we've seen because we don't like what we've seen. But it doesn't always mean that we have a full understanding of a situation. And there's more than one way to do the right thing, more than one way to make it work out. And we know that's going to be individual to the couple. However, it does take both parties, not both couples, because one couple here. It does take both parties to give their all, to always be willing to pursue the other spouse, and always be willing to better themselves, and always be willing to give their spouse room to.
Yeah. So where did this ideal of 50-50 really come from in relationships? I've done some reading, and I got some good nuggets for you. It really kind of stemmed from our actually upbringing, from our growing up. Is when our interaction with our friends. It's like, well, I'm friends with you, but I'm friends with you to a point where you're friends with me. If you invested in this friendship as much as I am. If we go to the movies, I pay my half, you pay your half, or we both see something that we want. You're like, man, I really want that. How about you? Can you go ask your mama? And we'll go ask my mama. And, we get half of it, and then we can get it. So it's that upbringing of 50-50. I'm gonna do my part, you do your part, and everything is great. When you don't do your part, and I kind of slack away, and then we bring that mindset into marriage sometimes.
Yeah, and also the business world.
Yeah,
contract. If you come into agreement with someone, you say you do a deal, I'm going to give you this amount of money for this trade-off, whether it's product, if it's real estate, if it's land, whatever it is, whatever they are giving is equal to what they are receiving.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. The value of whatever they're getting, the person who's purchasing it, they perceive the value of whatever they're getting to be what they are paying for. And so then there's an equal exchange, which divides that 100 into a half. But with a relationship, it's different, because there might be places there are places in me that are different than my husband. There are places in me that he's stronger. There are places in him where I'm stronger. And that still, even though we have that difference, if I'm giving 100% of me and he's giving 100% of him, not only is nothing lacking, but we can help the other to, I won't say balance that out, because we're never going to be equal in every way. The way that we think is not always going to be the same. That's the way that we, how much we eat, what we like to eat, all those things, nothing is ever going to be equally divided between us when it comes down to numbers. But effort, intent, involvement, intimacy, integrity, all those things can and should be at 100% in relationship.
That's true. That's true. And in a relationship, you think about it. If I'm giving 50, I'm a whole person, but I'm giving 50% effort. And you're a whole person, you're giving 50% effort. We just combined, made one, just a person, when the marriage is supposed to be everything that I have. The male and the female together in a marriage to form, what God said, the Adam, the mankind, the person that He intended them to let them have dominion. He intended for all of me, even with my quirkiness and the things that I'm working through, trying to get stronger in, and all of you, with your beautifulness, everything. All of that. So what could go wrong if we exist? And we say, hey, 50-50 marriage. You do this, that, and the third, or whatever. What can go wrong with a 50-50 marriage?
Well, are you asking me, or are you posing a hypothetical question?
Hypothetical question.
Okay, go on.
And I want you to expand upon this.
Okay.
The first one I have is, what happens when the other person doesn't, quote, do their part?
Well, first of all, if you have the mindset of, this is my part and this is your part, and if you don't do my part, do your part, well, an immature mind would say, well, I'm not going to do my part. If you're not going to do what you're supposed to do, I'm not going to do what you expect of me. And what we often miss is that when we join together in matrimony, the two become one.
That's true.
So if you're not doing your part, and let's say you're not doing it because you're not able, because something's lacking, because you're angry, because you don't want to, whatever the reasons are, if you're not doing that, then there's already something missing, right? And then if I turn around and decide, well, if you're going to take something away from the relationship, I'm going to take something away from the relationship.
Yeah.
Now, how does that sound?
Yeah, we have these, and then we start developing because we wanted this in the relationship, but it's not in this relationship. And so we take that, well, what we want, what we desire in other places, you know, whether it be a relationship with some other person, some other thing, you know, emotional, whatever, you know, but we start diverting those attentions elsewhere. Yeah. And so, and then it can also lead to bitterness because, you know, somebody could say, okay, you're not doing your part, but we know I know what needs to get done. You know?
Right.
So, and when we're talking about the part, if 50-50, you know. So I know it needs to get done, and okay, well, you know, you're not cleaning, you're not washing, because that's what we said we was going to do. You're not paying such a bill, but we still have to pay the mortgage, you know, whatever. So now I'm resentful, you know.
Bitter.
I'm bitter, I'm mad, you know, and I'm still carrying this in a relationship because you're not holding up in the end of the bargain. And then sometimes when we think in that mindset of contractual agreements and so on and so forth, we start thinking about, okay, termination of the contract.
Yeah, I'm going to renege on this. You know, and then that's when we get to the point where a lot of couples say, well, we just have irreconcilable differences.
Yeah,
we cannot come to an agreement.
Yep.
And the fact is, have you tried to make an agreement? Did you have an agreement in the first place?
Yeah.
Was there an understanding? What is the vision? What is the standard for your household? Do you revisit that based upon where you are financially, geographically, with your children? How are you working? Is there retirement? Do you have a mother or father in the home that you have to take care of, or somebody outside of the home? What are the other extenuating circumstances? And do you revisit that? How does your spouse feel about that? And do you know? Do you seek to know? And do you care? Because all those things can be different. Either sometimes I don't know, and sometimes I might know something is wrong, but it's like, well, he just acting funny, so I'm going to act funny, or I'm not going to worry about it, or I'm going to take care of myself. Yeah. Right. And then we begin to grow apart. And whose responsibility is it to maintain this relationship? Yeah. Both of ours.
Yes.
Not just his, not just mine, and not just talking about finances.
Yeah, and we're not talking about carrying the load. We know we can carry our brothers and our sisters' burdens, but up to a point, we're supposed to just, you know, hold on to it like a backpack until we get to the place where we can give it to God for that person. So that's why when people say, pray for me, okay, well, what do you need me to pray for?
Right.
You know, let me give some of it off your shoulders. Let me know what you need prayer for. Let me know what's on your mind. Okay, I got that. So let me carry that, you know, and then to my Heavenly Father, and I'm going to pray for what some people find themselves in situations in when we're living in this contract marriage and 50-50, that we feel like we're being taken advantage of. That's the next one that can happen.
Yes.
That can go wrong in the 50-50 marriage, is that what happens when, okay, well, that person they lost a job, they're struggling with some health issues, you know, some things, and in your mind you're saying, well, they're not holding up, you know, their end of the bargain. We know things still needs to be done.
This ain't what I signed up for.
Yeah, so now we feel like either we're being taken advantage of, or the other person can feel like they're being taken advantage of.
Right.
And once again, I'm trying to help someone. When you're in the mindset of I'm only going to do my part, then but a marriage is so we're talking about, we've been married for 22 years, over 22 years. I don't know whenever you see this video in 2022, we've been married 22 years.
Yeah.
So and just think about it, it's always going to change. I'm always going to evolve. My wife is always going to evolve as far as, you know, things that we're good at, and then later on I can be better, you know, and some things I'm still trying to struggle, I'm still trying to work through.
Likewise.
But still, you know, what happens when I don't live up to the goal that I set for myself? You know, I want to own a business or whatever, but it didn't happen. Okay, well, you didn't hold up your end of the bargain. You told me all those dreams. You know, you said house going to give me the world. You know, I ain't even got this house.
House ain't even paid for after 20 plus years. You know, and also I would like to address the fact that sometimes when situations and circumstances come upon you and you're not able to do what it is that you had set out to do, what you had promised to do, what you intended to do, and then that person who's unable to accomplish that task because of whatever the obstacle is in the way, then will feel like, oh well, you know, I guess he, you know, maybe he doesn't love me anymore, or he might not love me anymore, or she might think less of me because I wasn't able to check this box or that box, and then begin to feel less than.
Yeah.
And that also can cause a person to withdraw.
That's true.
In a relationship because they feel like, well, I said I was going to do this and now I'm not. I haven't held up my end of the bargain. Well, let's talk about what's happening.
Exactly.
Let's talk about why it's not happening. Can I help you with that?
Yeah.
And do we need to reevaluate our goals?
Exactly.
At this point, how can we go forward at 100% right where we are?
Like, well, I can't. We know when you in a marriage, you know, you both are probably aware of the things that we're struggling in, you know, and you know what we believe needs to happen, whether it's, you know, internal is working harder towards the marriage. Matter of fact, when we talk about effort, I forgot to define this earlier. And effort is just plain and simple, it's a vigorous or determined attempt. A vigorous or determined attempt. Now, there's many variations of that definition, but they're all kind of equal out to the same. It's always an attempt. Will I get it right all the time?
No.
But I'm always. We started Couples Pursuit because of this particular reason. You know, a marriage is successful as long as we're continually pursuing our spouse. Yes. You know, you never got to the mountaintop like, we've done it, you know.
This is it.
Because we got to go back down. It's going to be some stuff down there, some trees, some boulders, might sprain my ankle.
Yes.
Whatever. But as long as you're pursuing your spouse and you could constantly invested in them, baby, what can I help you with? What can I do?
What are you working on?
And it's not just her. She's the same thing with me.
Right.
You know, baby, what can I help you with? What can I do? Always, what can I help you with? What can I do? What do you need here? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I need your help. You know, it's always that same vigorous and determined attempt. So I want to clear that up because this can lead to when sometimes when you're in a relationship and you feel taken advantage of, and the other person to say, well, you know, I'm doing everything in this relationship, you know, I'm, you know, I don't even know why I got married, you know, you start hearing that talk right there, you know, and the person start feeling inferior, you know, you start feeling like, gosh, man, I don't even know I can do bad by myself. You know, you heard that before? Yeah,
they start feeling superior to you. Like I got it together, and you need to get yourself together. And then it can cause the spouse to feel like, oh, well, you think less.
Yes.
You think less of me because I don't have, or because I don't do, or I'm not able to perform in a certain way, and that again can cause friction and it can cause division.
Yes.
In a marriage.
Long time when we first started talking, you know, the couple, sometimes we talked about this last video where you talk on the phone, you know, you just talk for hours and hours. It tells you how to get dreams.
The newness.
The cares. I think some definition called limerence, like the newness of the new. But you know what? With that came a lot of sharing.
Yes.
A lot of heart pouring out. And you start telling each other your dreams, your ambitions, your goals. You know, and me and my wife, when we started Couples Pursuit last year, we always kept our goals, you know, kind of at least at the forefront of our heads, but we never actually like made a vision board.
For years.
Yeah. And so we developed a vision board. It's right over there. I know you can't see it, but we developed it, and just so we can keep that to the forefront of our minds, and always root for, baby. You know, oh, I see what you desire. I see what you dream. You know, how can I help?
Right.
What can I do? You know, and it's our goal every day that we are constantly trying to get to a place where we're doing something every day to get closer and closer. Yeah, every day. And every day, how can I help her? It's my prayer. And I know it's the same thing with me. Is every day, what can I do for him? You know, and doing Couples Pursuit has actually brought us, you know, even that much closer together because we have knowledge now, you know, to go with the lovey-dovey feelings, you know, and everything. But we have knowledge and how to handle, and also be able to share with others because this is bringing us closer to our dreams. We wanted to live up to the title that we were given to by a pastor. Well, I guess it was prophesied by him.
Yeah, it was spoken over us on the altar during our wedding ceremony that we would be a couple of example. And we thought we knew what that meant. Yeah. We thought it was music related because I'm a singer, songwriter, independent artist, and he was at the time producing music and has been my manager throughout my musical my husbander throughout that career. And so, you know, we always think we know. It's like, oh, okay, well, it must be that. And then we went through all the trials and the tribulations and almost became unmarried.
Yes.
And then we figured out, oh, this is the example. And so now that you've gone through the obstacles, now that you fought through it, now that you've stopped giving half of yourself or the half that you thought you were supposed to give, because we like to say, well, this is how I was. She knew how I was when he or she met me, and I'm giving my all. But what we really are doing, if we tell the truth, is that we're giving what we're comfortable with. Because what happens during the maturation of a marriage, the longer you're together, you find out different things about each other. You have different needs. There's some need that I have to fill. And there are some needs of mine that he may have to fill. And we have to help each other with that. And that is where all of you comes in.
Yes.
It's like not just the part that's comfortable, because when you first get together, it's like, oh, well, we just make each other happy. We want to be together. We want to, smile and kiss and, be intimate, and we want to travel. We want to do all the fun things. But where's the effort in that?
Exactly.
Where's the fight in that? Where's the struggle in that? There is none.
Yeah.
So when the struggle comes, you got to pull up your bootstraps.
Exactly.
And you have to dig deep, and you have to find those places in you that are challenged, and allow your spouse to help you identify them in love, and also to fortify them, to strengthen those weakened places. And that is where oftentimes relationships fall apart, because we don't want to be challenged.
That's right. And it's so amazing that you said that, because what came to mind is that you know how much you went through. Just growing up, just living life.
Right.
Just
trying to make it.
Just trying to make it. And what you went through, not what you got stuck at and you just said, I give up. No, what you went through as a person.
Right.
As a person. All the things you went through, whatever happened in your childhood, whatever happened in your early adulthood, whatever you went through, you got through it as a person.
Right.
When you get into this marriage, how much more powerful you could be if you gave all of yourself, and then we go through situations. It's not like we get double the trouble. No, that's not a thing. We still go through obstacles. But if you made it through so much when you was growing up and just living your life, you made it through so much. Now, if we both giving 100%, whatever comes up, we're going to make it through.
One of us have the tools. And if I don't have the tool, he'll let me use his tool.
Exactly.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Because my husband is, I always say he's kinder than I am. I'm a kind person, but I know that if you catch me wrong, if you disrespect me, now
I'm, get no hands.
I'm not gonna get out of character.
Nah, she don't.
I'm not gonna get out of character, but
she likes to tell you the real. We don't want to play around. You know, some people say, "Oh, that's just them." Well, no, let's talk about them. Okay, let's hold on.
I'm the person that sees a thing and I'm like, You don't see that thing?
Yeah, you call it a thing.
Did you see that? Did you see how they said that, or how did you see how they moved?
And she does not buy. That's just how
I'm like,
no, that's how you chose to be, and you have thought it was all right to just continue to be that way.
Yeah,
but you know it's not cool.
Everything has a root.
Yeah.
And I don't like it when people try to cover. They try to covet what they're really doing. It's like, no, I see you. I see you. And he's just more easy, kind of, not that he lets people walk all over him, but he doesn't get as riled up about it. That's like one of my pet peeves. I want to know the truth. I want you to tell me the truth. And I want to, if there's an issue, I want to talk about it.
That's right.
And I want to deal with it. So I say he's kinder than me in that way, because if you mess around and try to like pull the wool over my eyes, you probably gonna get a little bit of, excuse me. I see you, right? It might not be the first thing, but you're not gonna be able to keep doing that, and I'm not gonna say anything. Now, that's Lord, true. If I'm wrong about that, then help me. But it reminds me of when Jesus said to Peter, y'all always talking about the Bible. Yes and amen. Yes, we are. When Jesus was talking to Peter, he says, he was talking to the disciples and said, who do men say that I am? And Peter was the one that said, thou art the Christ. And he says, well, it wasn't flesh and blood that revealed this to you. He's saying the Spirit of God revealed that to him. And then as he goes on to tell the disciples how he's going to have to die and resurrect, Peter is like, oh no, God forbid, I'm paraphrasing. And he's like, get behind me, Satan. The same person who was operating in two different spirits at two different times. He was following the Spirit of God at one time, and another time he was following his flesh.
That's right.
And not necessarily because he was trying to do a bad thing, but he was like, oh no, don't leave us. We don't want you to leave us. We don't want you to go away. But Jesus is like, no.
Yeah, and he spoke in his flesh. He's like, I'm thinking it's a good thing.
Right. I want to protect you. I want you to be good. But that was for Peter's benefit.
That's right.
That's what Peter wanted. It wasn't the will of God. So when I say that, what I'm saying is, if you're operating in a spirit that's contrary to truth, to love, to righteousness, to peace, to joy, to all of those things that are that lend themselves to growth and relationship, I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
I want to gloss over it, and I'm quick to do that. Where you're a little more patient.
And that's what I'm talking about. See, did you see how that just worked out? So, I made it through life, being me, but also evolving. Like, I didn't get stuck at, I'm just not going to say that to people. No, my wife said, I might be more quieter, but this does need to be addressed.
Yeah.
And, we're just not going to stop at that. We're going to talk about it. But I made it through life being who I am and developing into the person that I want to become. I'm not yet there, but at least I left.
Neither am I.
And my wife, same thing with her. And we've put this dynamic duo together. So whatever life comes to throw at us, because it will, with attention can come distraction.
Right.
So if you set your goals to something, there could be some other things that fall in the way, come in the way, but we're so tight together. We're together that we know what we've been through. We had a long conversation, and we still continue to tell each other, say, baby, I remember when this happened. I was like, I didn't know how we was gonna do such and such. Those testimonies were strengthened by our testimonies. We keep doing that. When two people come together on one accord, wow, okay, listen, I can preach, we can keep going. What I want you to understand is that we cannot just give half effort, half yourself. And the bottom line is that marriage is 100, all 100, of you.
100.
It's a sacrifice.
That's right.
It's a sacrifice of you, of your time, of your energy.
Yes.
Of even sometimes doing the things that you might not want to do. Now, I'm not crazy about, maybe, cleaning
yard
the
work.
bathrooms. I'm not crazy about yard work, but I get the yard work done. I find my energy to get it done because I know it needs to get done. I find my energy to get, the cars washed. I might not wash the cars by hand all the time, but I get the cars washed. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. You do what needs to be done, and we balance each other out.
Yes.
I wanted to say that also because even though I'm the person who is more confrontational, and I want to talk about it, and my husband is more peaceable, what I've learned to do is, babe, this is how I feel about a thing. What do you think?
And those conversations are so good when we're able to sit and talk.
Well, baby, you know how you are, and you might be overthinking this, and I'll be like, okay, let me dial it back. first I'm going to talk to God about it.
Yeah.
And then I don't have no peace, any peace, about it. Not that God doesn't give me peace, but sometimes, that's the other benefit of being married, of being in a relationship. Because who knows me better than you? Other than God.
That's right. Other than
who
God.
knows
Yeah.
me better than you?
Yeah, and then we're able to share. Just work through issues. We talking about our godson going to school, going to high school, and issues with whatever clothing, and we was like, you talk about it. I talk about it with teachers in the school, and it's like, okay, baby, what about this?
Yeah.
And we like, bam, high five, we got it.
We worked that out together because two heads are better than one.
Yeah, exactly.
Two are better than one.
Man, I want to urge you. Wow, did we go over time?
It's like
let's just
half hour's up already.
Get to the point that even if you haven't got to the point of 100, giving it all yourself, that should be the goal. That should be the goal each and every time. Yeah, there's going to be some times where you might have to, hey, man, I might have to give a little more because my partner is struggling. My spouse is struggling in this area, and I need to, whatever. And the same thing with the other person. You should desire to serve. Desire to be a servant to in your marriage.
Well,
Wow.
I have a question for you. I know we're over time, but if we're not giving 100% of ourselves, what are we holding on to it for? What's the reserve? What are you keeping it for? Who are you helping by saying, well, I'm going to keep this part?
If this don't work out.
I've heard some women say, well, girl, you got to have your, such and such and such. And there's no secret money in my house. If I have money, my husband, I might have another account. I do. Yeah. I do have another
we both
account.
have another account.
But he knows the number.
Exactly.
He has the passcode. He has access to it. And so do I. And so that doesn't mean I can't have something for myself. But if we are supposed to be in this thing together, what part of that am I supposed to take and hide from him?
And what are you hiding it for? I like that.
What are you hiding it for?
That's the question we should ask ourselves.
Yes.
This was so good, so good.
Yeah, we could just go on and on. I guess we better stop.
Thank you so much for all the people that stopped by to hang out with us. We appreciate you so much.
Yes, and, thank you for being on, Minister Jones.
Yeah, leave a comment.
Good to see you
sis,
tonight.
Tabitha, how you doing?
Yes.
And look, leave a comment whenever you got something else that you might add and your thoughts on the issue. And we just love to hear from you.
Yes, we do. And so, again, what I would like to say is Couples Pursuit was designed to teach us, to show us how to not only take time to go away and retreat, to figure out, to get back to center, to find ourselves again, to get back to the loving part, but to pursue one another. The reason why it's called Couples Pursuit is because to retreat is a good thing, but it's periodic. And you can't retreat every day. You can't go away every weekend unless you're rolling in the dough. We're not yet at that point.
You shouldn't have to go away to fix and get your marriage.
Right.
You know what I mean? I said it's good to get away. We got that. We got that.
Right.
But we ain't have to.
But when you go away, you don't want to work on issues. Yeah, you want to go have fun.
December, we'll deal with this in December.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it in December. No, we're not. We're going to talk about it tonight. We're going to go to bed without being angry. We're going to love one another. We're going to give the devil a black eye. And then we're going to be closer together and we're going to be stronger together. And so
help somebody
pursue your spouse. And then learning what we're talking about tonight. Don't give half of yourself. Give them everything.
That's right.
Give them everything and let them see you. Be vulnerable so you can work on what you need to work on and trust them enough to let them help you work on it. So again, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes.
We're so happy to have all. Thank you for the comments. We love it when you talk back to us. And so until next time, may the Lord bless you. May he keep you, make his face shine upon you, be gracious to you, give you peace, keep you from all hurt, harm, danger, sickness, disease, and virus. In Jesus' name we pray. We'll see you here again on Couples Pursuit Live.
Bye.